slow travel in Switzerland. I'm gonna walk for 3 days on the Via Francigena. The Swiss stretch of the Via Francigena is a journey through 2,000 years of culture and stunningly beautiful nature. It's a great way to travel if you want to learn about history, blend in with the locals, and be active outdoors. It's also the perfect itinerary if you always wanted to hike on the Swiss Alps but don't have the necessary skills to climb up the top of the highest peaks. From this trail, you can enjoy the best views on them. The Via Francigena is an ancient path used by merchants, pilgrims and soldiers since the Middle Ages to reach Rome from Northern Europe. It starts in Canterbury, England, and crosses France and Switzerland before entering Italy. The final goal is to hike up to the Great Saint Bernard Pass, a very special place on the Alps with 2,000 years of history. In early September 2023, I've had the chance to participate to a trip in the canton of Valais, southeastern Switzerland, where 2 local guides have accompanied us along the entire ascent to the Great Saint Bernard Pass, following the Via Francigena path. Let's go! We started in the city of Martigny. In the 1st century before Christ, this was the Gaulish settlement of Octodurum, mentioned by Julius Caesar in the commentaries of the Gallic War. Roman ruins are preserved here. Martigny is also a city that cultivates the arts, for which a big reference point is the Fondation Pierre Janata. Following a bendy meander of the river La Trance, we find ourselves on steeper paths in the woods, much used by the inhabitants of the city. One word that you need to learn if you come here right away is bonjour, or like they say, the locals, jour. just arrived in this delicious little tiny medieval town. It's called Saint-Panchais, and we're gonna stop here for lunch. I wish I could convey the beautiful smell of hay that I'm experiencing right now coming from these wooden structures here. We start walking again, direction Auxerre. We're gonna sleep there tonight, so it's gonna be it for today.
Attention. Attenzione. Ok, chi gli piace le ricola?
Io.
Ok, ricola. Conosci ricola oppure no? Ok, questi bonbon con gli erbi. Quello che voi trovate nelle bonbon ricola sono fatti qui. E questi coltura qui e qui.
Did you understand? If you know the famous Ricola Swiss candy, which I know from my childhood, the herbs are cultivated here.
Queste rose selvatiche che si chiama rosa canina,
sì.
ok, l'églantier. Noi chiamiamo questo gratte-cul.
Ma va!
Possiamo fare della gelée, la marmellata.
Okay.
And this is a technique that I've never seen before. All these rocks on top of tarps, they probably leave them for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, so that everything down there is killed, and then they start cultivating more plants. And this is very clever because then you don't need to weed and you don't need to use chemicals to kill all the plants that are not the one that you want. Look at these beautiful dry walls. This is such a great work of craftsmanship, and it's actually disappearing. So if you see one of those, think about this. This is an incredible place we found on the way. They make hay by hand with the tools, hand tools. And it's something that nowadays it's usually done by big machines with tractors and stuff like that. But here in Switzerland, in Valais, there are still families that work all together to do this hard job, still all by hand. Amazing. The smell of hay that I'm smelling right now is undescribable.
In 2 secondi lo devi fare, eh?
Due. Ma che dura c'è? Ma sì, tutti.
Ti resisti di più. Andiamoci una testata però.
Deve
Pronti? Partenza, via!
Attenzione le donne!
Beh, lei l'ha proposto.
Basta, basta.
Grande.
Bene? Un po' d'acqua nel naso.
Due bei ragazzi! Bella signora!
Train in Switzerland. We are very proud of our trains. They are fantastic. I don't have any car since a couple of years, and I can go in any places with those trains. With public transport you can go up to the mountains, to the small village, very remote place, and then you have a bus or a train or a cable car who will bring you there.
Pain de seigle.
Segale.
There you go. My first raclette. Raclette.
Il problema è che tu devi aspettare. E donc
La regione, Genova.
non so esattamente.
I think I didn't expect it to be so good. Mazza, quando aggiungi la patata poi...
La patata è eccezionale.
Good morning! We are leaving for this day 2 of walking from the city of Auxerre. This is the view that you get from this town. It's pretty amazing. Let's go!
Col chic dans les prés, fleurissent, col chic dans les prés, c'est la fin de l'été.
Che bella! Cosa dice? Le col chic nei prati fioriscono, è la fine dell'estate.
Ah, ecco.
Annunciano
La fine
la fine
Bellissimo.
This gorgeous, majestic mountain is Le Canton. It's one of the main mountains of the canton Valais, and it's 2,600 meters high. It's beautiful.
Per esempio, dove è in Svizzera, ma è tutto in pietra.
Dentro il cammino, soprattutto quando parliamo di cammini lunghi, danzano le nostre tre dimensioni, cioè l'anima, il corpo e la mente, ma l'elemento più forte è sicuramente quello dell'incontro. L'incontro è una magia, è relazione, e insieme con l'incontro c'è un elemento fondamentale in ogni cammino che è l'accoglienza. Il cammino richiede il fatto che uno si fermi a dormire, che si fermi magari a riposare un attimo, insomma, l'accoglienza è veramente un elemento essenziale. Questo sviluppa un senso di gratitudine, noi dobbiamo essere grati alle persone che permettono tutto questo, e credo che sia una delle dimensioni dove, se vuoi, se apri la mente, se apri l'anima, il cuore, è un po' riscoprire un pezzo di senso della vita, no? Perché ci sono delle persone che di fatto ti permettono, con gesti anche semplici, di viverla questa dimensione.
Tu sei già stata al Gran San Bernardo, vero?
Sono già stata più volte.
Quindi com'è l'esperienza? Perché cos'ha di particolare quel posto?
Intanto che è un posto estremamente selvaggio anche nella media dei passi alpini. È molto duro, è una montagna impervia che ha paradossalmente una storia lunghissima, quindi ha il fascino dei resti romani, della strada romana intagliata nella roccia. E poi c'è questo hospice che è un'esperienza anche che per chi non è religioso è un'esperienza meravigliosa. C'è proprio la spiritualità. Quando arrivi ti danno l'orario delle preghiere e ti invitano dicendo anche se tu non sei religioso, non ci interessa, sei nostro ospite se vuoi venire. Io ci sono andata non da religiosa ed è stata un'esperienza, una via di mezzo tra la meditazione, veramente qualcosa che ti prende dentro, anche senza voler fare della retorica. Un'esperienza stupenda.
In the past, crossing the Alps was a frightening and very dangerous experience, especially in the colder seasons. The Great Saint Bernard Pass, in fact, reaches 2,500 meters of altitude. Imagine someone who had to cross it in the 11th century. Not only the cold, the uncertainty of the weather, the risk of avalanches, but also the fear of bandits or getting injured in the middle of nothing. In the year 1050, a monk, Saint Bernard of Aosta, founded the Hospice of Grand Saint Bernard in order to accommodate and rescue travelers over the Grand Saint Bernard Pass. Since then, the hospice has maintained an uninterrupted welcome until today. The hospice has also become famous from the 17th century for the dogs that the monks used to breed to help travelers caught in snowstorms.
This cheese is delicious and the herbs, perfect seasoning. I love the idea that you can eat something nourishing like the herbs just by picking them up from sort of the wilderness, because nobody cultivated these. Our guides just picked them up on the way.
Guarda.
We arrived at Bourg Saint-Pierre. This is our hotel where we're gonna sleep tonight, and today it's been quite hot. It's surprising because in this area just last week it was snowing up to the mountains. Today it's I think only 25 degrees Celsius, but you know, up in the mountains the sun becomes very strong, so it felt like it was 40. So now we're gonna first of all enjoy a well-deserved beer or something else. Come si chiama questa?
Ti piace?
Devo ancora assaggiarla, devo dirlo nel video.
Bière grapefruit.
Ah, bière come birra.
Ah, bière è la birra. Grapefruit è pompelmo.
Okay, now I'm gonna try this bière grapefruit. Grapefruit. Impossible. It's beer with grapefruit juice inside or something like that. It's apparently something typical of the canton Valais. Is it correct? Let's
Exactly.
try. Cheers.
Salute signora. Salute.
Era così, era così. Dove vai il direttore? Ah, così, prendi a caso?
Ho preso palindromo.
Oh, wow.
In che modo quando mi hai detto palindromo?
Palindromo. Anch'io prendo il
It's
palindromo.
as good as Radler, which is lemonade with beer. Maybe even better. I don't know. Maybe it's better because it feels better right now. It's so hot outside. Cheers. Good morning, good morning! Day 3, it's quite chilly today. You can really feel that the altitude is increasing. Right now we are at 1600 meters more or less of altitude, and today is actually the most exciting of the 3 days because we started in Martigny the first day, the slow ascent to the Great Saint Bernard Pass, and today we're actually gonna reach the very famous hospice of the Grand Saint Bernard Pass. Understand my excitement. We are crossing the town of Bourg-Saint-Pierre right now, and one curiosity about this town is that Napoleon in the year 1800 passed through here because he was going up to the Grand Saint Bernard Pass, and the people, the citizens of this town actually accompanied him and his army because it was, you know, quite dangerous to go up there, and they spent quite a bit of money to do so. Napoleon said, yes, I'm gonna reimburse you or give you something back later, and the people here are a little bit disappointed about this because France never gave anything back to them except La Poste, except a médaille for the honor. This here is the building where Napoleon slept.
Jusqu'à l'hospice, jusqu'au col. Oui, à pied. Oui, à pied. Oh, c'est beau. Oui, on est sur la Via Francigena. On est parti de Martigny et on va jusqu'au col.
Our guide is talking to the sweetest old little lady. She asked us if we were going all the way to Rome, because the Via Francigena is this huge pilgrimage path from the Middle Ages that used to go from Canterbury, England, all the way to Rome, Italy. And we said, no, we're just gonna stop here. And she said, you gotta still be happy because you gotta take happiness from what you already have. Thought of the day. Last fountain before the pass. I'm trying to keep up with the group while eating raspberries. They're so delicious. There are so many here in this path. These type of architectures are masterworks of craftsmanship. I could never get tired of just staring at them. Look at this roof made of entirely stones, and the wall made with the artisanal technique of dry stone wall. Beautiful. This is such a big part of the richness of a territory. I love looking at these kind of things. I believe that architecture, of all the arts, it has something a little bit different, a little bit more complete. It's a little bit of a more complete art just because it's not only beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, but also functional. It's that one art that unites functionality and aesthetics, unites art and craftsmanship, and it lasts for centuries and centuries. The calm in this place is phenomenal. We just came all the way from there, walked here, and then crossed the road, and then came out here, and now we're continuing in the middle there. I think you can see that there's not much around. Now you can see electricity, you can see cars, roads, but try to imagine in the Middle Ages or back in the day, centuries ago, when there was nothing here, nothing but rocks, grass, and the sky. And imagine now it's September, beginning of September, so perfect, very favorable weather to do this hike. But try imagine if you have to cross these areas in the middle of the winter with all the snow and the unpredictable weather, and you arrive to the pass where someone is there to welcome you, to cure your wounds, to take care of your physiological needs, and they have dogs that are trained to come rescue you in case you lose the beaten path, because with the snow it's very hard to follow the trail. So now I can understand, now that I'm here, I can understand what incredible hike or traversata this must have been for who used to do it back in the days. Look at it, we're almost there! We almost made it! Gonna fly the drone!
Grazie.
Grazie.
A tutti voi!
Yeah.
Salute, salute, salute.
Salute!
Salute, salute.